For this recipe, we will need flour, milk, oil, melted butter, eggs, sugar, vanilla, and a little bit of salt. So where we're gonna start, and you can make this recipe as much as you want or less as you want. Just ingredients, it's all about how much you want to make, less or more. You can add more eggs, the butter will be more yellow. So we're gonna mix the first, I have in here for this example 3 eggs. Let me crack them first. There. Now I'm gonna add my sugar. In here I have 3 tablespoons of sugar. And I will put at the same time a little bit of salt. I'm literally gonna put on my hand about maybe like a less than half of the teaspoon of sugar. Sugar will combine all your ingredients together nicely. Now I have in here melted butter. I will add right now. Now make sure your butter not very hot, so your eggs not gonna like curled up from heat. Okay. Now we're gonna put a little bit of vanilla. I love vanilla, it smells good. Teaspoon of vanilla. And I will put a little bit of oil, maybe a tablespoon, just a little bit. It will help us when we need to mix ingredients. I mean, when we're gonna fry, our ingredients not gonna get stick to the pan. So we're just gonna beat a little bit to combine them all together. And then I will put just a half of my portion. Here is the 2 cups of warm milk. If you have your milk stay in the fridge, just pull out and maybe warm up for 30 seconds in a microwave, or just leave on a counter for half an hour to warm up. So I'm gonna add right now flour. And why I do half of the milk right now, because it would be easy to mix flour into the even consistency. Now this is the 1 cup for now, and later I will see if I need more or not. Make sure you sift your flour first so you don't have clumps. My flour was sifted already. We need consistency, like it's liquidy but not as much. So I'm gonna now beat all those clumps. You have to be absolutely smooth. Depends on your flour. Could be thickness different, and usually when butter stay a little bit longer, the flour will dissolve into the milk, and later on you will find that you need to add a little bit more milk because the butter will be too thick to spread on your pan, but we will see later. Okay, now it looks like it's a good even consistency. Now I'm gonna add my rest of the milk. And to be honest, it could be possible I will need more flour. So you are not gonna ruin this recipe. If you see that your butter is too liquidy, like right now, for example, that's okay. You can add a little bit more flour. Scrub it up the sides. And I see now that is very, very liquidy. You see, it's too much milk in here. So I will add another, because usually I never kind of measure how much flour I put. I just do like an eye, as much as needed. So I'm gonna get another cup of flour and I will be right back. Okay, so let's add now a little bit more flour, less than half of the cup, just a little bit. Do little by little and just keep mixing it. Scrub the sides. You can even leave a little bit stay on a counter for a few minutes, because sometimes later on your mixture could be a little bit more thickened with the time. Depends on what kind of flour you have. I have all-purpose white flour, and I'm gonna add a little bit more. Like I say, I never measure flour, I'm just seeing the consistency. Okay, we might need a little, okay. So right now this is gonna be around, all in total, cup and a half, I would say. Okay, for now I'm just gonna leave as it is, and I will fry my first one, and then I will see if I will need to add more flour or not. But this has to be a runny kind of, because you need to spread it out on a pan nice and smooth. So let's go to the kitchen and we will try to fry one. So here's consistency of the butter, should be liquidy, and usually the first one always will be not as perfect. So I have in here heavy duty pan, and here's the tip for you. It's hot right now, but if you pull out the coil and wrap around it with the foil, that way if you spill something and your stove doesn't go all the way down, so it's easy to change and keep it clean. So I preheat it, and sometimes the first one usually I use this oil spray, so my first one wouldn't stick to here. So I'm just gonna try, I don't know how we're gonna see it. Okay, I'm gonna pour first one, and I will wiggle like this, and I hope you can see it. You have to make as thinner as possible. Okay, it's not gonna be as perfect, but that's okay. And we're gonna fry. Now I need something to, I'm gonna use, let's see what I'm gonna use. I'm gonna use this plastic spatula to lift it up. So I preparing here, I just have my tray, put paper towel here, and when I'm gonna pull them out, put in here on a paper towel, and I'm just gonna cover with the other side so they stay clean and soft, doesn't dry out from the air. Now my little girl already taste one, and she say we need a little bit more sugar, so we add another maybe 2 tablespoons of sugar, and about cup and more than a half of flour to get this consistency. Now the first one usually would stick, but we'll see how we do. I love this pan because when it's reheated, and I use in a medium heat, because when it starts to get hot, it stays hot, and I just lift it up and flip on another side. It's okay. Just to make it like a barely gold. Let's see if we can zoom a little bit more close. If it will stick too much to your pan, you can add a little bit more oil to this mixture, because the oil and butter, that's what make them not stick to your pan. and I usually just keep it very close to it, and maybe, I don't know, it depends what kind of big scoop you have, half of it. Okay, see, now it's all, I'm gonna show you on both sides. It's golden like this. This is perfect, and it's gonna slide off your pan very, very easily. So I'm just gonna put them here on my tray, and I don't spray now my pan at all because it's hot. I'm just gonna all the way around. You lift it up, crank it up from side to side to make this more even, just like that. And we're gonna continue frying. I hope we in camera. It's taking time, but better to do on more slow heat. It's even less than medium. I would say on 4, 5, 4.5 maybe to the low side heat. And when it starts edges coming out, kind of dry out a little bit, then you know it's time to kind of flip on another side. Sometimes it starts to bubble, and I think you can see that it's bubbles coming out. That's okay. So this recipe really is, if you like more yellow, this you can do more, put more eggs. If you feel like it's getting more butter thick, add a little bit more milk to your mixture. If you think it's too liquidy and running like a water, add a little bit more flour. So this is really flexible recipe. And now I'm just gonna give you a hint that if you don't put any sugar in here, you can make a mixture like ground meat, fry with onions, and you can stuff them with the meat instead of sweets as a dessert. So there's lots of many good stuff you can use. And we already done with this one. Let's do one more time on camera. And quickly, because now pan is really hot, so we have to spread it out fast. If it's not exactly perfectly like round, that's okay. And usually at this point, the Catherine would circle around already to try and steal some and munch even before we put any cheese inside. You can put jam inside, whatever you like. There's many possibilities of different stuffing what you can put inside, but in Ukraine we always do with cheese, cottage cheese, ricotta cheese, whatever cheese you like, the one like right from, if you are farmer, we in Ukraine making our own cheese, white cheese. So we will get to that point. Usually when I fry this, Catherine would mix cheese together to prepare them. And we're gonna show you the other part. See, just a tiny little bit of gold like that looking. And on another side you need even less time to get them brown because it's already cooked. We just need to make a little bit more golden on the other side. So I'm gonna continue fry them all, and I will get back to you when we finish them, and we're gonna prepare them for the stuffing with the cheese. Alright, I'm gonna continue fry my base for our cheese wraps, and Catherine here will mix and prepare our cheese. So she already cracked in here 2 eggs. I broke one already. And then we need, she like to add what? Cinnamon powder. And vanilla. We're gonna get vanilla. And she grabbed about 4 big full teaspoons, maybe 5 of sugar.
Doesn't tell it tastes sweet.
Yeah, because cheese sometimes sour, and that's the cheese that we like to use. And in here it's 500 grams. So I'm just gonna help her to open it. We already opened one side in here. I like to buy sometimes like 2 packs of them and just put one in a freezer, and it's good when you're ready. So this one was on a freezer with the frost overnight in the fridge.
And I took it out today.
Okay, so that's the cheese, the goodness, yummy stuffing that we're gonna create. Okay, so you wanna add liquid first, like
Sure.
Put vanilla into your eggs and make sure you're in the camera view. Okay, about teaspoon, that's good. Vanilla.
Should I just add a little bit just in case?
You can put sugar all the way, just dump it, yeah, all sugar. Now you want to add powder in here, a little bit of cinnamon because we love cinnamon. That's good. Sugar, if it's not sweet enough for you, you can add more or less, as much as you like it. So now mix a little bit of eggs with the vanilla. Smells good. Now add all in here. Okay. And she's just gonna use a fork and is it still frozen? Okay, with the frosted in the fridge, but we pull out on the counter a little bit too late. So the center of this cheese is a little bit frozen. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do. Just this little piece that's frozen, I'm gonna put in a microwave and on defrost settings. So Catherine, keep mixing this.
Okay. It smells so good. Huh?
Yes. Keep talking with you or something to say.
These are so good once they're cooked.
So this one, you can add 1 egg, you can add 2 eggs.
How
about you hold it like this?
I don't know.
Yeah, just like that. Well, it's mixable, pretty easy. And just mix it all the way around. We just wanna let this sit a little bit till sugar dissolve.
My favorite thing is the taste test, and I gotta eat it. Huh, Mom?
Yeah.
That's the best part, seeing if it's good enough and sweet enough.
Okay, just a little bit on the microwave. I defrosted and it's already fallen apart. So we are good. Mix those together.
It's just like creamy yellow color once everything's mixed. Right? Would you say it's a creamy yellow?
Yes.
Good, pretty.
Alright, so now we're gonna meet up with you when we're ready to wrap them and to combine my patties, or how we call them.
Wraps.
Wraps. We call them wraps. In Ukraine we call them
Crepes.
nalisniki.
Oh.
Nalisniki.
Yeah,
Also we call them in here crepes. Right? There's many other names that we talk, but usually we just call simply cheese wraps. Alright, see you later. Now it's a fun part that we're gonna roll them. I have here cheese. The cheese liquidy, well, not liquidy, but I mean it will be good to spread it out. The reason, usually it's much thicker than this, but because cheese was frozen, so it's also a little bit of icy water in here too. Plus we added 2 eggs, so it's more liquid, sugar dissolved. But this is perfect consistency that it's easy to work with. Now you can fold in 2 ways. You can roll like this, or you can literally just grab one, right? Put on half, and then on half again, and you can have them as a triangle like this. And then you can fry 4 of them on a pan. It's the same size as you fry. But we're gonna do this way because that's the way my mom always did, all my family, so that's what we're gonna do. Now we're gonna scoop a tablespoon, usually this portion on a cup of milk, 1 tablespoon, 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 this pack of cheese, 500 gram, is perfectly fine. It's good enough. So in someone maybe could be less, could be more. So you just spread it thin and then you start to roll. Okay, and usually I end up rolling with my end in here on the bottom, and then I kind of squish them to make a flat, and this part is ready. And then we do in the next one, and on till we done roll them all together. So I'm gonna do one more, and then I will see you when I done all of them. So we can add a little bit more in here, and then we roll, and then we're just gonna have one more step before we can eat them. Okay, so you continue do this and I will see you in a sec. Our next step, on a medium heat, we're gonna melt some butter in a pan, and I love this pan because it doesn't stick to it, and it just, we need to fry to a nice golden color to kind of combine now all ingredients together, so cheese and everything would be hot. So on a very like a low, well, I would say less than medium heat. Now butter is melted. You can cut your cheese wraps into the smaller pieces, or you can just place like this. Let's get one more. And now we're gonna fry till it's nice, kind of a little bit crispy on the outside, but not burned. So you have to watch, because soon as your pan gets a little bit hot, it can burn easily. So you just have to watch and wait, and it's gonna be a fun part soon when we're gonna serve for people to eat. Luckily for Catherine and I, the only two of us who eat them, because our boys doesn't really impress with this cheese. So it's only two of us who love this dish. And Catherine already have a little bit of the empty wrap, because she cannot wait now. Okay, let's get a little bit fried on another side, getting more golden. The most important thing is not over fry. This side is perfect now, and sorry if it's, I'm creating shadow. I have only kind of over still light, which, let's see if this will help a little bit. I'll still create shadow with me. So it's almost ready, because it's on a low, so the heat goes through the whole thing, and it's ready to put them on a plate and show you a few little things how you can serve them. We are almost ready to eat. Now when we put on a plate, don't forget to sprinkle with sugar powder. That creates not just even beautiful, but more sweet if you have it too sweet. So you're gonna have an extra sugar. Now my little girl like to have cranberry sauce, and we have in here canned one jelly. She don't like the berry, full berry, so we always buy in this kind of like a puree, and I already crushed it. So we're just gonna have a fork, and you can smoosh it to create like a puree. This is just from the can, so it's kind of bumpy a little bit. Put on a top as much as you like to eat. But in Ukraine we eat with sour cream. To be honest, in Ukraine we eat almost everything with sour cream, because we have own cows up there, so it's always fresh milk, fresh butter, fresh cheese. So if you don't like with the cranberry, you can add spoonful of sour cream or on the top instead of the cranberry, and you are ready to eat. Smell in the kitchen now is so good. It's very tasty, it's very soft, and the smell in the house is amazing, and it's really soft. With the word I was trying to okay, I lost my words because I'm really drooling right now and I want to try it. So have fun creating this Ukrainian dish we call nalisniki, or cheese wraps, as we call them here in Canada, or crepes. So yes, let me know if you would like to try or you have this try before. Bon appetit, smacznego apetitu. Enjoy your meal.